Welcome back, boys, to another episode. Well, the last episode of Season 2 of Every State Independent. We're finally here, and man, this went by real quick. I don't think it took me this fast to be able to finish the previous one. Maybe I just made the episodes longer or something, I'm not sure. But man, 11 episodes, it's already done. I'm pretty sure the other one went to like near 20 or maybe even over 20. I'm not even sure. But boys, we're finally here. Thanks for the support all the way. Getting the channel back on track. I really appreciate it. It's been awesome. Now boys, make sure to stick around to the end because I have not one, but two big announcements for you guys. So please stick around. I'm sure you are going to be excited for both. Thank you again to all the amazing patrons who, due to their support, were able to buy the winner of the Country Ball Art Contest, a copy of CK3, which of course Paradox did not supply to me. So thank you so much to the patrons for doing that. Cursed Potassium, Call Space, Jordan X, Boba Fett 13, Infinity Mapping, Bubby, and Infinitum Gamer. Thank you all very much. I super appreciate it. And if you would like to look into becoming a Patreon yourself, please check out the link in the description below. Alright boys, we have a lot to get into today, so let's make sure we don't waste any more time. We are here in the German Republic right now. They are of course at war with Imperial Bulgarod, and they have not been having the easiest time. Bulgarod, for the position they're in, have been making it extremely hard for Germany to actually get through here. They've only just now reached the Urals, and just barely. And now this is a great defensive line for Bulgarod to use. It actually stretches essentially all the way down to their border. Now, a lot of these Bulgarod divisions here, I guess, are in trouble for encirclement if this is able to push down before this is. So they need to be careful about that, but if they are smart, if the AI does... Because, you know, sometimes we see cases where the AI does do smart things. If they are getting pushed, get these guys out of there. Hold the Urals and just chill, and they should be fine for a while at least until the Chinese catch up to them, because that is an issue. The Chinese are over here getting their revenge for all of the victories Bulgarod had against them, and they will be pushing this way, and they may even meet the Germans at the Urals, which would be kind of funny. So we sort of have an arms race occurring between the German Republic, who's racing to defeat Bulgarod, and then I would assume they would attack Shaanxi afterwards, and then we would see a repeat of what happened with Bulgarod and Shaanxi, where they would get pushed down and end up right here. German Republic, any time before, they would be at war with Transcaucasia. They would have to go through Shaanxi, and then I would assume DPRG Korea as well. We have an arms race between them and, of course, the Grandmaster, I guess you could call them second-ish place, unless you were also looking at Federal Republic of Central America in the Americas. 301 divisions, 1,100 factories. No divisions in training. Only 218,000 manpower, but they are defeating thoroughly the Chilean Argentine Empire, which is actually Uruguay, of course, and Uruguay itself, Montevideo, has been captured. Uruguay is under the control of Illinois, Central America, whatever you want to call them, Canada. So they are not long for this world. The Americas will soon be united. But the Transcaucasian People's Republic, you could also make an argument that they are in second place. They have over 300 divisions, 1,400 factories, over 14.7 million manpower, and they, of course, are now at war with our homie. Now, I think we all understand that our homie probably does not stand a chance to win, even after they changed their name to the Greater Malian Democratic Republic. Our homie is sitting here at a solid 103 divisions, 333 factories, 3.69 million manpower. That is funny. So I think what is best, if you are a great Dahomey fan, our homie, if you were rooting for them, if they were your pick ever since Dahomey's rise began, I guess I would encourage you to root for possibly Transcaucasia, because Transcaucasia was the real reason that Dahomey survived against Assyria in the beginning. And if Transcaucasia isn't successful here, then probably German Republic will come in and sweep everything instead. But of course, it's all up to you who you want to pick, who you're rooting for. And that, folks, is basically the only political situation in the entire world. Of course, we have Britannia, who's still there, 233 divisions, 260 factories, just under 1 million manpower. They are at war with the Germans, but the Germans are sitting here at a solid over 700, near 800 divisions. So this Britannian effort will not will not be worth anything, I don't assume. I mean, they could try to do more naval invasions, but that has seemingly just gotten more and more of their divisions killed off. We also have the mess that is Oceania, but I don't think this area will ever be united. Australia, of course, united with its 159,000 manpower, 90 factories, and 59 divisions. I don't think that even after this episode, a lot of this stuff will be united just because of how many divisions I would assume all of these nations have been able to stack, and then all of the many naval invasions that would have to occur. We did see, though, that Japanese People's Republic actually annexed Taiwan. That was off camera. I did not notice that. We saw that they had made naval invasions down in the south, but that is insane. That I didn't think that they were going to be able to do that. We have a slight rising power here, 82 divisions, 1.82 million manpower, and 165 factories. They are now at war with Korea, which is interesting. Korea is about twice their strength, roughly. So I don't think a Japanese naval invasion into, like, Korea or Sakhalin Island would be able to do anything real. But I think they have naval dominance. Yes, they do. Wow, they have naval dominance in, like, all of Asia. Let's get the ball rolling again, boys. The biggest things we're going to be watching at this moment are German Republic and Shaanxi attacking Volgograd, and then, of course, Transcaucasia's invasion of Africa now. We have Transcaucasia landing. They had this Tunisian spot here. There was only one division in it, but now they've landed plenty more. And they are seeing some attrition, but at the same time, Dahome's side is also seeing attrition. The battle for Africa has started. Okay, what is that? Central America has declared war on Guadeloupe, which means Uruguay has finally died. Man, I was rooting for Uruguay for a while. I would really like to see them win. But congratulations, Illinois, you are the victor of the Americas. Now they're going to attempt to see if they can actually invade the Windward Islands who formed Guadeloupe. That's a lot of divisions for just this island chain. It's going to be pretty hard to make a landing on, but I'm sure that the Americas probably have naval dominance at this point. Yes, just in the areas they need it. Transcaucasia still pumping divisions over from Asia into Africa. I think their holdings are going to be kind of hard to hold on to here, facing a lot of this attrition. Wouldn't it be crazy to see Dahomey actually beat back and win in Africa? Well, you can see right here, this is the actual border, so this is the amount of territory that has been seized by Dahomey against Transcaucasia. A lot of that may have just been because they were porting all their troops over from Asia first. Ah, boys, it is 1949, and wow, what a time lapse there we got, boys. Oh my gosh, I did not notice this. Is that real? The Koreans have gotten themselves into a situation here. So, rest in peace, Belgrade. They were a very fun state to watch. A lot of Russian viewers were excited about them. They did very well, and that is not a loss in my book. That is, getting that far in this game is pretty good. So, GG to them. Now, the Chinese, the Shaanxi Republic, appear to have declared war on Korea, and then Germany declared war on Shaanxi. So that's why we have Shaanxi at war with both Korea and the Germans at the same time. The Germans don't seem to be moving very fast, though. They seem to be still suffering the same issue they were having before. Man, 1.15 million manpower. They must have a lot of losses. I mean, they've been pumping out divisions like crazy. Actually, look at Germany. They have less divisions than they had before, which means some of them have been dying. They have plenty of equipment, and then all the divisions that are over here are looking good. The ones on the front line, on the other hand, these divisions are a little bit less doing well, but that's okay. Let's check on Transcaucasian People's Republic. Invasion of Africa. I'm sure this has probably been pretty bad for them. They are missing motorized, mechanized, anti-tank, and support equipment, but they have been able to seemingly make a big breakthrough here against Dahomey. Now, Dahomey's divisions are the opposite of looking good. Oh, they have like half the divisions they had before. This is another one of those situations we saw with Singapore, where Transcaucasia is now just wrecking the divisions that are doing very poorly with equipment and attrition. That's a very small encirclement, but it is still an encirclement. And man, if the Japanese make headway into Korea, that could be bad for Korea. And that also could be good for anyone who's rooting against Germany. Now, here's why. If Germany attacks Shaanxi, splits Shaanxi, if Germany kills Shaanxi, splits Shaanxi with Korea, Germany kills Korea, splits Korea with Japan, Germany will go to war with Japan before Transcaucasia's People's Republic. And this is a very awful choke point for Germany to be held up on. While the Japanese are planning more naval invasions, this is a vulnerable area, but there's no ports there. How's the naval war between these guys? Okay. It is bad for Korea. Have we actually seen any real naval battles? I will keep my eye out for one. So maybe we can see a Japanese versus Korean naval battle. It is not looking good for our homie boys. Our homie's home state is about to be taken, of course, being right there, also known as Benin. Here you can see their last stand against Transcaucasia as they push through. There's not very many Transcaucasian divisions here, but they are wrecking havoc on Dahomey right now. The capital of their formed nation, which was in here in Niger, has been taken. That is unfortunate for that fellow there. Man, it took Transcaucasia a little while to get going in Africa, but once that ball started rolling, they are unstoppable. The Transcaucasians are attempting to encircle them in their own homeland. There are some naval bases and stuff along most of these states, so most of these guys probably won't get encircled, but their homeland is being encircled, slowly. Also, the western and eastern pushes are about to meet up. Is seizing all of Africa, though, going to be enough factories to, in any way, catch up to Germany? They're at 1,600 there. Right now, the Germans are at 2,600. Also, the German manpower is dropping very fast, and it looks like all of the battles that they are fighting right now, that are attacking ones, maybe not the defending ones, but the attacking ones, also, I mean, even the defending ones, they're getting pushed, but all of the attacking ones are failing. And as you can see, we've just watched them drop another 100k manpower. And there we go, boys. This is the biggest development that this, or biggest change that this has had in a long time. The Japanese actual naval invasion of Korea here. Korea has no manpower. They are definitely on their way out. And then once Japan takes whatever states they're going to annex, they are probably just going to sit tight and chill for a little while because they're not going to be declaring war on Shaanxi, as Shaanxi is stronger than them. So Japan will be able to just sit here and build up for a while and prepare for the defense of their country against Germany. Japan declared war on the United States of Cebu, or Kibu, however you would say that. That must be an island nation. Oh yeah, it's in the Philippines. We will see if the Japanese AI is able to take that. I mean, they have been pretty successful with their naval invasions, and yes, look at this. The Japanese actually got Vladivostok, which is a very good state, and then they got all of Sakhalin Island, and a state over here in far eastern Russia. Germans are on service by requirement, so they are able to go up to all adult serve and scraping the barrel still. So their manpower may look bad, but they can still update it in the future. Also, Dahome's home state has fallen, and this is the last stand of the defenders in the northern pocket. They do have a... no, they don't. There is no naval base for them to escape. Those divisions are dead. Some brave men there, folks. It also doesn't appear that Argentina or... it also doesn't appear that Central America is able to make any strong attacks against Windward Islands as of current, or Guadalupe. Transcaucasia, I mean, I've got to give it to the AI. I've got to give it to the AI, except for, like, up here, I guess. But I've got to give it to the AI. They have not been putting stacks and stacks of divisions on these horrible tiles to put stacks and stacks of divisions on. They're just leaving 1 or 2 on most of these tiles, and it is working great for them. They're not seeing as much attrition as they would be seeing before. The Transcaucasian People's Republic has declared war on Greater Korea. Okay. Yep, they did, folks. Republic of Greater Korea now exists. Shaanxi formed Korea. Now Transcaucasia has declared war on them, and we've been seeing... we knew this was going to come. Transcaucasia, their whole army's like in Africa right now, so they're going to see some territory loss right in the beginning, as well as probably this pocket here. But that's not really an issue, as there's no divisions there, of course. But once Transcaucasia gets their armies to... I'm still going to call them China, probably. Once Transcaucasia gets their armies there, it will probably be no issue. Germans down to under 600k manpower. Germans are seeing just incredible losses, like you've never seen before. I wasn't able to catch the German losses against Bulgarod. Maybe I did last episode, but I didn't catch the total losses, of course, because I would have had to check today. But against the Chinese... Germany has lost 1.9 million against the Chinese 300,000. That is very good if you're rooting against Germany. Germany's seeing some victories in their attacks now against the Chinese, except roughly half, or still even more than half of them, are losses. And that's just going to keep sapping their manpower like crazy. Germans now under 500,000 manpower that fast. It only took like maybe a week of in-game time. That's probably been enough time for Transcaucasia to get their armies. Yes. Transcaugasia's armies are officially here, arrived in Asia. Now, can the Chinese do the same thing that they've done to the Germans, to Transcaucasia? I'm not sure, man. That's a pretty big border, and actually their capital, too, is right on the border with Transcaucasia. The Transcaucasians have experience fighting the Chinese, unlike the Germans do. I guess that does mean, though, that you can officially give Shaanxi officially 3rd place in Afro-Eurasia. Unless they win here, which, of course, you would give them 2nd or 1st. Let's check on China's stats, actually. I mean, they've got good manpower, reasonable. It's about half of Transcaugasia's manpower. They are building units still, which means they have infantry equipment, but everyone has infantry equipment. They don't have anti-tank, they don't have armored cars. Which, why are they using those? They have, or they're missing artillery, a lot of artillery. They're missing motorized, and they're missing tactical bombers. So actually, it would be kind of cool to look at the aerial map. So this is viewing from China. They're losing in Western Siberia. They're bombing Poland, apparently. I don't see any... they have green over Poland for some reason. They're losing in southern China, Manchuria, northern China. I'm sure it's fluctuating a lot, though. Yeah, they're probably mostly just losing. Germans at 200, now less than 200,000 manpower. Even after the Chinese have suffered this devastating strike from Transcaucasia and are now losing territory and have lost their capital. Britannians are still killing lots and lots of German convoys whilst Germany's having these issues in Asia right now. Also, looks like the Britannians now actually have capital... those all capital ships? Light cruisers and destroyers, which the Britannians are making. Yes, cruisers, destroyers... are they... no, they're still making submarines. So they're still making submarines, but they're also making destroyers and cruisers as well. And it looks like they've just gained control over the seas. If you guys remember last time, the Germans basically had naval dominance. That has definitely changed. Only 37 ships compared to the Britannian over like 150 or something like that. It looks like a lot of their ships have just been sunk, and I just haven't been able to see it happen. Transcaucasia, I mean, they're gaining factories faster than the Germans are. You could say that. They've got 1,800 right now. I know a lot of them would probably be considered to be under occupation, and we don't know what the final peace deal is going to look like. But I can probably safely say that after, let's say, Greater Korea / China is killed, you could argue that the factories might be fairly even. 69k manpower for the Germans. We're about to watch it hit 0, boys. Now, the AI usually lets the manpower sit at 0 for a little while, and then it's like, okay, I guess I'll bring this up. And they will bring it up another 10% that it's at, but they're going to lose construction, speed, factory output, all that good stuff. And they're having political power issues, it seems. They can't stop spending political power, which means if they can't get the political power up, they're not ever going to be able to update this. And boys, the German Republic officially has 0 manpower. 0 free manpower. They do have, of course, the staggering 11.3 million in the field, but that is going to be dragged down considerably. Now, if you're rooting for the Germans, I don't want to come off as someone who's rooting against the Germans. I'm just trying to see if maybe we can get an underdog story occurring here. The Transcaucasians are not faring very well either in their own way. They're missing a lot of mechanized, motorized. They've gotten artillery. Wow, they're very good on artillery. Under control, anti-tank they're still missing. They have plenty of fighters and stuff. I'm most excited right now, actually, about Japan, which they've made a landing in the Philippines. It doesn't appear like it's gonna last. They are considered encircled, and these divisions aren't doing too well. But they did make a naval invasion, and maybe they're gonna get some more troops in there. That's the Japanese AI coming alive, folks. Just checking the losses again in the German versus Chinese war. 3 million dead Germans versus 500,000 dead Chinese / Greater Koreans. And then, of course, it also counts the Britannian 280,000 deaths. Then also, if we look over here, we can see that Korea has lost 1.58 million versus the Transcaucasian 1.25. So they're not faring very well against Transcaucasia. Transcaucasia seems to be just better fighters, or just in a better position than the Germans are at this point. And you can start to see the effects on the German divisions in this region. A lot of them are suffering attrition and are seeing equipment shortages, that most likely being manpower, because there's nothing else that it really could be. Germans still sitting at 0 manpower. Is this a push by the Chinese, or is that a two-pronged push by the Germans? I can't quite tell. Look at the strength level, boys, of these divisions out here on the German side. Not looking that great. It looks like there's a little bit of free manpower there. Instantly sapped. Yep, they're still sitting at service by requirement. We are in 1950. I didn't even realize that, boys. 1950. 14 years of this game has passed so far. I really want to keep checking in on Japan and see if they actually win. That would be a very good place to land Japan, because then you could get into the capital. And these, I mean, guys, these Filipino divisions aren't doing that great either. So Japan, if you were to land there with some fresh divisions, which it looks like you are, or maybe the division that you've just launched has died in the mines, that is a very good place to land. We have an upward assault by Transcaucasia into China. They're not really trying to take the coastline, they're going north, possibly in an attempt to encircle the entire coastline, or at least cut off the coastline from the rest up here. Transcaukasia's manpower is, of course, very high, but it is actually being sapped pretty hard right now. It's also looking like they have a roughly similar division count to the Germans now. These battles happening down here are crazy. All of the divisions on both sides are just... What are these even fighting at? These divisions are at like 18% manpower. And this Filipino division, it's at 86% manpower, but its manpower was way lower in the beginning. So does Japan have a division just sitting in the capital, but it's not taken? Oh, rest in peace. The Filipino state was not actually taken by Japan. It was actually taken by this nation here, which has probably been trying to unite the Philippines for a long time. It has now declared war on this guy. What is Japan declared war on next, though? What is their next target? Their next target appears to be Iwo Jima, which has a 14 stack sitting in it. That's going to be rough. Yeah, boys, wow. Transcaucasia is now under 7 million manpower, and their border with China really hasn't changed. Man, China is really good at fighting these European states. They're holding them back on the mountains where it counts, or up here in the tundra, tiles. The Germans have just stopped attacking. They've given up, it appears. Transcaucasia is at the gates of the next capital of China, Nanjing, but it's still really having a hard time pushing through here. That is a pretty good encirclement, though, for Transcaucasia to get right there. And I'm sure China is suffering a lot of equipment loss, like 11,000 artillery, 500 motorized, 150 medium tanks. Are these guys actually making tanks? Yeah, we have a tank division being built by the Chinese. I would like to see if the other countries are also building tanks. I don't see any active tank divisions. I also don't see any active tank divisions on the German side, and they're not building any divisions. Transcaucasia, though, there's a chance that, wow, they are building a lot of guys. But also it does not appear that they're building tanks. And they do not need tanks. Actually, I mean, they have medium tanks in their inventory. It may just be because they seized them. Yeah, they're not building any. They're building so much infantry equipment. They've got like, probably like 5k a day being made. But it only equals out to plus 800 a day because of how much of it's being used in the field. Transcaucasia now under 5 million, approaching under 4 million manpower. It may be because of this. It might not just be because of a lot of losses, which I'm sure it's a mixture of both. Yeah, Transcaucasia has had a lot of losses. They've had 3.38 million versus the Korean/Chinese 3 million, or versus the Chinese roughly the exact same 3.3 million. So that does not describe the going from 12 million manpower down to 4.25. That is due to the insane amount of divisions that Transcaucasia is making. Can China cause both of these countries that are attacking them to hit 0 manpower and come out the victor? I am kind of... The longer this goes on, the more and more I'm thinking that that actually might be possible. It would be the largest comeback story in the history of this game. The Chinese are losing manpower though. Like that 3 million manpower is kind of irreplaceable due to the heavy population regions that are being lost to Transcaucasia at this moment. But man, if that could happen, because the Chinese-German line has just stalled completely. In fact, it's actually moved in China's favor slightly. Look at the absolute state of these German divisions. Man. Especially the ones in the north, which have been getting hit by attrition. They are not doing very good. Average strength, 27%. 996 landmines have been laid by Iwo Jima in the ocean. Quite a lot of landmines, folks. Britannia has not laid any, and Germany has not laid any, which I would have expected them to try to lay some on each other. I still want to catch a good naval battle between Britannia and Germany. Germany now only having 31 ships in service, where Britannia has almost exactly 200. Alright boys, I did that time lapse, I went on a walk, I went and got some food, let the game run because I knew this was going to need a little while to run. And I've come back, and what I have come back to is quite interesting. It is now 1954. I ended the time lapse and let it run a little bit longer, and I may have let it run a little bit too long. Republic of Greater Korea was annexed, and Transcaucasia got 63 states. Germany got 2 states. This is what the map looks like now. And as you can see, Germany still has the roughly 2,600 factories, the no manpower, and Transcaucasia People's Republic has 55 million manpower and 2,300 factories and over 1,000 divisions. Now they're not actually at war right now because Transcaucasia declared war on Cyprus instead, and I think Germany just, I guess, still just at war with Britannia. So folks, also something weird happened here. German 605, a puppet was created. Puppets shouldn't be able to be made right now, so that's kind of strange. So I guess I'll have to run it a little bit longer to see if Transcaucasia can get Cyprus, and then hopefully we'll see the 2 titans eventually duke it out. Now look at this. The border between Germany and Transcaucasia in Europe is extremely fortified on all sides. Even getting to be along the Kazakhstan border, there are forts being built. Alright boys, so that's a lot of divisions right there. It seems that the Central Americans have actually been able to take out Windward Islands. Some sort of naval invasion must have occurred. They have 1 division left here, against, of course, this massive stack of 67. Oh, they have tank divisions too. Wow, the Central American / Illinois / Canada doing pretty good. And it looks like they're about to win as well. There she goes. They've declared war on Tiano, so they're killing off a lot of these smaller island nations at this point. I guess they didn't own all of that. Oh boys, there are battles occurring. I did not even see this. Oh, Cyprus is gone. I must have clicked off of it on accident. Yes, boys. The Germans and the Transcaucasians who started here, this is their home state. Transdanubia versus the Germans' home state of Vorpommern. It should be this one, right? Pretty sure it was this one. It might have been this one. They are officially fighting and manned. There are a lot of divisions on the screen. It doesn't look like our 2 final titans in Eurasia were able to develop nukes before the start of this. In Season 1, there were a lot of nukes that shot off. It doesn't appear that there's going to be any nukes this time unless they are recruitment in the Middle East. So you have 19 million Transcaucasian military personnel attacking into 10 million Germans. These Germans, they appear to be on the border faster than Transcaucasians were. The Transcaucasians were sort of everywhere else. Also, they're not at war with this puppet, which is strange. This puppet is very strange. I might just annex it into Germany because I don't think that was supposed to happen, but I'll let it live for a little longer. It is not looking good for the Germans, boys. They are down in factories after losing territory. It's getting worse and worse. They still are sitting at 0 manpower. They're at -0 political power. Interesting. So far, man, that's really bad for Germany. 2.28 million German deaths versus the Transcaucasian People's Republic, which of course has the 55 million manpower, only 783,000. Here we can see the upcoming Battle of Istanbul. The Germans are being pushed out of the region, and the divisions that are there are not doing too hot. There was a German pocket here where the territory was that they seized from the Russians. That's quite a few divisions in there in that pocket. Boys, the Greek portion of the German territory has been cut off, technically, over there near Bosnia. And I'm pretty sure that Transcaucasia has naval dominance? No, they don't. They don't have their navy here right now. Where do they have their navy? They only have 36 ships, I guess. Although the Germans now have 11. They keep probably getting sunk by Britannians. There goes this pocket, boys. Yeah, that was a lot of overruns. Transcaucasia has seen 1.7 million casualties so far, and the Germans almost 5 million. Yeah, their army in the field has almost been cut down by like half. Oh boys, it looks like the Britannians have a naval invasion ready, attacking Brest, or the province right next to Brest, I guess. They've been usually attacking this one in Normandy, but I guess they've changed their mind this time. Probably after the hundreds of thousands of Britons that have died there in the many naval invasions in the past. This is exciting. I want to see this happen. Okay, they've launched. Will this work? I guess, I don't know if there's anybody... Oh, there's a division guarding Brest. Oh, and they are attacking into Brest and losing. I mean, the Germans are losing. Okay, and they can take this port too. Yeah, this is bad for Germany. This is very bad for Germany, guys. I'm not sure if I missed any other naval invasions done by Britannia. I'm sure there's been some. Oh, this is bad. This is really bad. This is D-Day, folks. D-Day in 1955. And there's the obscene amount of divisions that Britannia is going to pump into this little landing they've made. Sadly for Britannia, this is probably a little bit too late. If they would have been able to take out France, they may have been able to defeat Pomerania before, if they had taken France before the Pomeranians did. But they failed that naval invasion, and that probably screwed them over the rest of this game. But they are going to make a lasting effect on this game by doing this naval invasion here. And who knows, maybe the manpower they'll gain from this and the destruction that Transcaucasia will see in this war versus Germany will be enough to give Britannia an edge to maybe take some land. I'm going to give you guys one more time lapse in this region because this is a very important region, and I'm going to make sure I do not walk away from this so I know the exact time to come back.
The United Nations have inflicted upon the Germans great defeat in open battle, man to man. Our air offensive has seriously reduced their strength in the air and their capacity to wage war on the ground.
Boys, it is finally over. The pick that most of you probably thought were going to win has been defeated, and I think the reason for that was its lack of manpower. Obviously, the big reason that they lost. We have Britannia going after Balearic Islands, and Transcaucasia declaring war on Japan, which makes sense. 179 divisions for Transcaucasia's People's Republic, 41 for Britannia, and German Republic was annexed. It was like 169,000 manpower was taken. And it was at this point, boys, when the game crashed, and I realized that my main hard drive, which has Windows on it, I checked, all of a sudden all my programs started closing. I looked at it, it had 12 megabytes of free space. And, so I restarted the computer, I stopped everything, deleted a whole bunch of stuff, and now I got a good amount of space on it. But man, is that save file corrupted. And so are all of the other saves, the autosaves I have, were all also corrupted. So, boys, the world will not be conquered on that save file. But at least we got to get to where we got. That Hearts of Iron, I believe, was using so much CPU that it almost destroyed my computer when I was recording right there. So, thankfully, it did not destroy my computer, but it is a big price to pay, although we did essentially finish the game. We have our top 3, and of course the top 1, the winner. We know who it is. In third place, we can give a gracious award to Britannia for finally invading the mainland, taking a hold of France, Spain, and a little bit of Germany and Switzerland, and then, of course, going after the Balearic Islands at the end. In second place, of course, Illinois, so congratulations, Illinois. Conquered North America, became Canada for a little while, went to war with Texas, who at the time was Central America and also fighting Uruguay in their south, decided to also become Central America and kick Texas out of that spot, and then defeated Uruguay, the state that I thought might win the entirety of the Americas for a long time. And of course, first place, the Transcaucasian People's Republic. Man, oh man, was that an underdog story. I mean, they were not a small, weak force. They were probably the strongest for a little while when they first started getting big, when they conquered Ukraine and all that good stuff. And then eventually, them being able to conquer most of China before the Germans were, and defeat Pomerania. Everyone thought Pomerania was going to win. So what an underdog story. And congratulations to like the 16% of people that predicted that Transcaucasia was going to win. You guys picked correct. Congratulations. Thank you so much for the support in this series. I really appreciate it. This series kickstarted my channel back to life, and I am very, very appreciative of that. Now, I have those 2 announcements, boys, for you guys, and I'm very excited for both. And both of these announcements may be seen more on my channel in a little while. The first major announcement is something that I've wanted to do for a little while with this channel, and I've seen some other YouTubers in the community do it. We have started a channel dedicated Minecraft server. Boys, if you've been around for a while on my channel, you will know that I have a lot of old Minecraft videos on this channel, and they're all still viewable this day. And you know, I had a lot of fun playing Minecraft back in the day. That was like probably from 2013 to 2016. I was probably making Minecraft videos here. And boy, was that a lot of fun, and boy, do I want to have a lot of fun with you guys in Minecraft. So we have our own server. It's a townie server, which means you guys can create your own nations and claim territory and have wars with each other and make alliances. All that good stuff. We have our own world that we've made. I gave my friends on the Discord a head start. So there are already some existing nations, and I, of course, am also playing on the server. So you can come say hi to me on there if you would like. But yeah, boys, I've had a lot of fun with the Minecraft server. Please come join. I will put the IP up on the description and up on the screen here. There's already a little dedicated community for me, even without me advertising it yet, so I'm pretty excited about that. And of course, my second update revolves more around Every State Independent again. We have made a mod that replaces Battle Royale and Formable Nations. So you don't need those mods. All you need is Every State Independent, and then this new mod called Every State Independent Good, or ESI Good, developed by my good friend Lunu. I'm pretty excited about it. It makes a lot of changes to the way the AI works, and makes it a lot funner to watch. For one example, when you annex a state with Battle Royale on, you instantly core it. This gets rid of that, which means the countries have resistance in the occupied states. And not only that, but we've upped the resistance so that there's a lot more revolts and revolutions in big countries. Another thing this game does is it makes the formables actually important, because the formables are the only way that you can actually gain cores on other stuff. The AI will actively try to go for formables, so you'll start to see Poland forming, you'll start to see different parts of Germany, different parts of Spain, Italy forming up, because it's the only way that the AI knows that it can get more cores. And if, let's say, a state in Poland starts getting really big, but it doesn't form Poland yet, it could collapse due to revolution at any time. This mod is super fun, and it makes for a great watch, and I'm sure that a series will be started on it very soon here on the channel. So thank you, Luna, for developing that. I really appreciate it. It is on the workshop at the upload of this video, so make sure to go check it out. I will also leave a link to that in the description. But man, boys, thanks again for the awesome series. And thanks again to all the patrons: Cursed Potassium, Call Space, Jordan X, Boba Fett 13, Infinity Mapping, Bubby, and Infinitum Gamer. You guys were the reason that the CK3 copy was purchased for the winner of the Country Ball Art Contest. And I will see you guys all in the next episode. Peace.